So Elon Musk is wanting to buy Disney, and Trump is supporting it. I mean, maybe we get to save Star Wars.
So as we all saw last week, Hollywood, and especially Disney, is having to face quite a big slap in the face.
Mostly because they're making shit nowadays. Okay, let me re-inform you guys that haven't necessarily been paying attention. The Acolyte failed. That was a Star Wars program. I watched it. It was, well, I couldn't even watch all of it because it was so bad. You had the Book of Boba Fett that I think had a really good first 3 or 4 episodes and then just completely faded. You've had the Star Wars trilogy with Rey, which nobody really liked because, well, let's be completely honest, they screwed that up. They had Snow White and the 7 CGI dwarves, even though that's the best place ever to put in diversity. That's just a few of the mistakes they've had lately.
And undergo a massive cultural restructuring, as they have been shown to no longer hold the same power that they used to just a few years ago. And whether you are happy with the election result or not, one thing we can all agree on is that Hollywood and Disney Avengers endorsements no longer mean a damn thing.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Avengers.
Hey, Scarlett.
Jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling.
Jesus Christ, the cringe. The cringe is hurting my fucking... Oh my lord, the cringe. This is an ad, isn't it? I haven't seen this, just in case anybody's like, oh, you should know. No, I haven't seen this, so...
And one major player behind Hollywood's cultural downfall has been Elon Musk, as in the last 2 years, he has made it his mission to shake up the media and cultural landscape, and his mission has clearly worked to full effect, with X being the #1 ranked media company over the election period, and clearly proved to hold more power than Hollywood and legacy media.
Well, the problem with Hollywood is that they keep not giving us what we want, right? They keep doing remakes of old films and fucking them. Like, and I'm not saying remakes of old films isn't a good thing. I'm saying remakes of old films that you don't want to see is a completely different thing. People loved Snow White. It's one of people's favorite shows. People loved The Lion King. People loved almost all of the Disney films. And they're all being made into like a rap thing with what's it called? The genie. What's it called again? Aladdin and the genie being made into Will Smith, the slapperoo. Like, it's not weird that people dislike it. You had Lion King that was so badly CGI animated in the beginning that they had to completely change it because it just looked like lions talking. Like, there was nothing to grab onto there. And you've had situations in Marvel that just made it less and less likable. You had Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, great films. Why? Because Iron Man was Iron Man. It's not about showing an agenda. He's just fucking badass. A dude in a tin suits of bam, 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 pew, 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 pew. They're boys, right? And then they have She-Hulk. What does She-Hulk do? She does nothing. All she does is laugh at men and tell Bruce Banner that he sucks, even though he's been the Hulk for many, many years, and he's about to teach her how to be a Hulk.
But it now seems that his mission doesn't just end with X alone, as there are numerous reports suggesting that he's also looking to enter Hollywood and giving that a massive shake-up as well. As it was just 1 year ago that he was at an event with the Disney investor Nelson Peltz, where he suggested that he's looking into possibly purchasing the studio.
I'm just here with friends, thinking about companies to acquire.
Honestly, I think that Elon Musk, if he just lets creatives do what creatives want to do, and I'm talking about the creatives that have the creative ideas have had them for writing, like The Killing Joke or Injustice or any of these people, if he puts them up with directors that are willing to do their vision, oh my god, Marvel's gonna thrive, DC's gonna thrive, like any of these companies are gonna thrive.
Whoa. Then it was shortly after that event that he personally attacked Bob Iger at a summit
Bob
where Iger
sucks.
himself was in the audience.
There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
Yeah, me too.
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Then he funded 2 legal actions against the company of Disney, with one being a massive lawsuit with Gina Carano.
Yeah, because, okay, Gina Carano, if you don't know who that is, she was a fighter, former fighter, that went and became a Disney star, and then she started basically having some political turmoil there, and was saying, oh, blah, 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 this is the stance I have, and blah, blah, blah. She was a big Republican, and then she got thrown out of playing in X-Men, I think it must have been. I think it must have been X-Men.
Which is shaping up to
a
result
terrible
in a
actress,
big
but-
victory for her in court.
But she shouldn't
with
have been
Kathleen
thrown
Kennedy
out.
possibly having to testify in court as
Mandalorian.
well.
Mandalorian.
But now we are seeing new reports suggesting that Elon Musk may have offered $50 billion to purchase a Disney theme park. And another article also quoting him saying that he would definitely purchase a large share of the studio if the right structure was in place. And so while nothing here is set in stone, and these are all just reports and quotes, his actions over the last year suggest that this is a real possibility moving forward. And when you listen to the way that he talks about Twitter and the current media landscape, he really does take mass media reform very seriously.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, this is going to sound somewhat melodramatic, but I was worried about that it was having a corrosive effect on civilization. That it was just having a bad impact.
It's very interesting to hear him speak like this, because he purchased Twitter and said he wants free speech to be alive. And then people call him a fascist, and they call him all sorts of names because he wanted to allow free speech to be on the platform. It's very interesting how people see it. Because if they can speak freely, and I can speak, or you can speak, or these people can speak freely, does not just mean that we all have the ability to free speech instead of just the liberal left. And I'm saying just the liberal left, not because I don't agree with some of them, but because I also think the opposition should be allowed to speak.
I think part of it is that it's where it was located, which is downtown San Francisco. And while I think San Francisco is a beautiful city, and we should really fight hard to
Clean it.
kind of
Make it
right
beautiful.
the ship of San Francisco. If you've walked around downtown San Francisco, right near the FK Twitter headquarters, it's a zombie apocalypse. I mean, it's rough. Have you been in that area?
Not lately. No.
Yeah.
I've heard.
It's crazy.
I've heard it's crazy. I've heard you really can't believe it until you actually go there.
You can't believe it until you go there. So now you have to say, well, what philosophy led to that outcome? And that philosophy was being piped to Earth. So, a philosophy that would be ordinarily quite niche and geographically constrained. So that
What he said there is very important. Ordinarily quite niche and geographically constrained. So it would be a small amount of people, and it would be in a niche society. Like, not everybody loves trains. Not everybody has a particular fantasy for small electronics to make them. Not everybody likes carpentry. They'll all be carpentry is a bit larger, but let's say specific old 1980s carpentry. 1890s carpentry, like old decks and stuff, right? There's a very specific and niche community. And that's what it should have been, is kind of what he's saying.
the fallout area would be limited. Was effectively given an information weapon.
And this quite evidently extends to Disney and Hollywood too. And his actions through his lawsuits against Disney may suggest that he's hurting their brand and lowering the company's stock so that he can take over the company at a good price. And it's not just him doing it apparently, as there are also reports of Apple also looking to capitalize on the failing brand of Disney.
Of course, though, anybody would want to capitalize on that, because if Disney is falling, it's a fantastic time to go in there and sweep it up, and people will be like, oh my god, you're saving Disney, and then you make 2 or 3 really good films, and everybody's going to be super happy with you, right? You make a let me think about a superhero right now. I was going to say Wolverine, but they've made actual good Wolverine films. Let's say you make a maybe not a Gambit film, but like, some other about maybe Cyclops and his life, or Jean Grey and her death and reborn as Phoenix, or something like that. That could be incredibly powerful to do.
As they are also apparently interested in purchasing the studio too.
Bob Iger might want to sell Disney to Apple. In a move worthy of HBO's TV show hit Succession, Disney announced late on Sunday that Bob Iger is replacing Chapek as CEO. Chapek was the CEO of Disney for nearly 3 years. He was Iger's pick for the job when he retired from his tenure as CEO. Now Iger's new mission is to find another replacement, but Disney's insiders now claim that Iger's ultimate goal might be to sell the company, with Apple being the most likely buyer. We have seen speculation in the past.
Basically, what they've said is Bob Iger fucked up so badly and did so many mistakes that, let's just be honest here. Let's be honest, everybody. He's not going to even get a single negative effect out of this. He's going to come out and he's going to have a big sale. Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, lots of money. Oh, Disney sold for a lot. And then he's going to get a big bonus. And none of you guys like the new Disney. And if you do like the new Disney, please, in the comment section, tell me why.
That either Disney or Apple would be interested in such a deal. Previously, Iger noted that Steve Jobs was a close friend. A Disney-Apple merger might have been on the table if it weren't for Jobs' ultimately death in 2011. With Iger's return to Disney, insiders are already speculating that his mission might be to sell the company, and the Apple's name is popping up again. One such insider talked to Ramp, saying that Iger will sell the company. This is the pinnacle deal for the ultimate deal maker, the unnamed insider claimed. This is not verified. Nobody knows. Can it happen? Tom, what are your thoughts on the story?
Well, I think what's going on is it has to happen. What you have to do is don't think of Disney as a content company right now. Think of it as an entertainment company. So, and they have all these legs of entertainment. They got the theme parks, they make their own movies, but they've also know that the control has shifted because all of the expensive infrastructure guys are going bankrupt, right? Whether it be DirecTV, whether it be Dish, or delivering hard cable. All of that is a losing business. Over the top is everything.
So clearly there are a lot of powerful players who believe that the studio of Disney and Hollywood itself needs a massive reform.
Well, it does need a massive reform, even in the form of thinking, yes, but let's just bring something very simple to the table. What about the whole Diddy situation? What about the whole Epstein situation? Like, the whole of Hollywood needs a reform because most of it has a lot of corruption in it, and there's a lot of not only nepotism, but a lot of like, oh, you have to fight to get up there, but it's not really a fight, if you know what I mean. It's baby oil and lube. When it's baby oil and lube, first and foremost, because I worked as an actor, it's not a nice world to be in, and it becomes one of those places you don't want to be. So you're like, I don't want to keep acting. What's the point if everybody's going to ask me for baby lube or oil whenever I come there, or somebody's going to grab my junk and like, you know what you got to do to get this role? I'm like, nah, I don't.
And whether you agree with that sentiment or not, the reality that we've been shown over the last few weeks is that most people agree, as people have expressed concern over Hollywood persecuting its own talent for expressing their right to free speech, and they are also concerned that it is pushing an unconstitutional and unfree agenda that can have serious harm on society at large. And now, like I said, you don't have to agree, but the numbers speak for itself. And I personally don't think that it's a coincidence that the most successful films of the last year have been movies that don't persecute one side politically or socially and are more focused on values of higher good and not necessarily promoting anything that, right or wrong, may divide the audiences.
The biggest problem is that they're putting their political views in the film more so than not having a political view. Because Deadpool might be just like, I want everybody to die. Pure example. I know he's not, right? And then Wolverine is like, I want everybody to live. And then, for example, Gambit is like, I want everybody to have sex, right? They will have their own agendas. And if they have their own agendas, what they're going to do? Very simple. They're going to go, hey, this is my agenda. I'm going to fight your agenda. Not, this is our studio's agenda. We're going to fight your agenda, even though none of these things work in the film.
And these are movies like Deadpool and Wolverine and Dune Part 2, with both being extremely diverse films, yet not marketing through that fact, but merely just being diverse and telling a good, entertaining, and engaging story. And so that leaves us the final question of what would a Disney under Elon Musk actually look like? And well,
very interesting to say the least. I don't know if it'll be better or worse, but it'll be interesting, okay?
I think contrary to what mainstream media may say, I think it will be a much more free Disney and one that doesn't push right-wing ideology or left-wing ideology over one another.
Push
but
good
is more
story.
free to tell stories and say anything it wants. A company that will let the market decide what the people want, and if that means unpolitical movies make more money, so be it. If it means more liberal-leaning movies make more money, so be it. Or if it means more conservative-leaning movies make more money, also, so be it. And so I think it's a company that is there to let the people decide, and whether you like that or hate that, given the current trends we're seeing, it may just be a possible reality in the near future.
Well, that was actually quite a good video. So I hope he buys the company. I think it's going to be a very interesting one, and I think Ding is going to be good.